Hey friends, this is Rob Smith, and in this clip, I'm going to show you a way to use context to explain a book that you are reading. This is one of the ways that I use context quite regularly. I have a huge library. I'm always getting new books. And what I find is that before I read the book, and then sometimes during my reading, it's really fantastic to have context frame the book in a large scale way so that I have an idea of what I'm looking for in a more holistic way before I start and as I proceed. This is just 2 minutes to show you how to do that. So you're in the Context app. I'm going to create a framework here. And there are different ways you can do this, but the one I'm going to suggest is that you go to search for integral, and the lens you're looking for is integral historiography. And pretty big word that basically means it's going to give you a comprehensive overview of analyzing an idea and putting an idea into its personal, cultural, social, and historical dimensions. Now, what's great about this historiography idea, especially when looked at through an integral lens, is that it's great for books. So let me just put in a book that just sort of randomly. Let's look at Jared Diamond's book, Collapse, and we will create, and you will see what it does for you. If you had just got the book in the mail and you say, okay, fantastic. So it's put into 4 quadrants because that's the nature of this particular framework. That's actually pretty useful because what we can look at is, okay, what was the motivating aspects for the author? So this is the interior of the individual quadrant. So what was the motivating cognition for the author? In the lower left, we're going to look at the reception. So there was a critical reception and the lineage of thought that the book comes from. In the upper right, we're going to look at the actual argument of the book. So just some of its core points. And in the lower right, we look at the context of the book. Who are some of the key figures and influences on the book? What's the historical context and the contemporary relevance? So already you can get a sense of, in 5 minutes of running a lens like this, you can make your book understanding and book reading process just so much more valuable and so much easier. Now, we can see Jared Diamond was motivated by a desire to understand the factors that have historically led societies to succeed or fail. He noticed gaps in prior works and he aimed to integrate an interdisciplinary approach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So we're already seeing that. We're seeing the lineage of thought that it's within the tradition of historiography itself and environmental science. And he's drawing on historians like Toynbee, as well as geographers and anthropologists. Here's some critiques of it. I won't take you through all of this, but you can certainly see how powerful this is. If at any point in any of these things, there's things that you say, oh, okay, here's the main argument. He argues that society's collapsed to a combination of factors right here. I could just control B that, or I could hit the button there. So that bolds it. I could also add a thought if I wanted to. And as always, if I said, I really want more explanation for that, I could add a framework to that. And let's say I wanted to explain that, or let's say do key questions to ask. Let me just clean this context up a bit. I'll pull out that core points piece, but basically it pulls that context directly in and it's going to give me key questions to ask. So I can run this framework and this will be nested inside of that other one. And so there you go. Questions to explore factors leading to societal collapse. And these are all questions that I might ask as I was reading that book. And you can see that that framework is now nested under this one. I can go back to the top level here, and there's my nested key questions to ask. And you can do that at any point. So again, in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of studying this, just becomes a really powerful tool for helping you build out your library in your mind of what it is you're reading, and frankly, actually having a far more holistic understanding of your really the knowledge that you're building as you read a book. It's not just the book itself that you're looking at, it's also all of these other factors too that you get to hold the book in context. Thanks for being with me.